Welcome to our Wednesday Night Live Q&A. My name is Tracy Matson. I'm a certified professional dog trainer from Utah, and I am here tonight to answer all of your dog training questions. Oh, I better get the chat up. Okay. So if this is your first time, or if you haven't been on in a while, please give me your name and where you're from, just state or country, so I can enter you into the drawing. I've got papers for a lot of you that are here every week, so I don't have to keep writing them down. I'm going to start with a training tip today while we're waiting for people to get on. Okay, I had one. Gotta think. Hey, Brian. Have yours right here. So, is Renee coming? Because if so, I'll put hers in too. So one tip, I met with some new clients and their dog is like afraid to come to them. And the reason for that is every time, hey, Elizabeth, where are you from? I don't think I have a paper for you yet. I know this isn't your first time, but yeah, just let me know where you're from and I'll make one for you. So these people, every time their dog would come, they would grab their dog and then like put it in a crate or bring it in the house or something like that. So the dog learned not to come to them. So we want to, hey, Renee, there you are. So we always want to make sure we pay attention to what we're reinforcing. So rather than reinforcing the come, they were teaching the dog that coming is bad because they're going to catch me and grab me and then do something that I don't like. So we kind of had to start all over with playing a recall game, orientation game, name game, and teach hand targeting to come all the way up and get a treat and then send her away to play again, so that coming to us wasn't a bad thing. So sometimes we do want to, hey, Lexi, I do think I have a thing for you. If not, Lexi, remind me where you're from. Because I know you've told me, but I can't remember. And I'm actually in my office today, and some of you I know were here when I was home and made my list. So Nicole, hey, Nicole, I do have one for you. I know I do. There you are. Lexi, Rhode Island. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Because my friend's in Rhode Island and I want to go visit. I think, weren't you on last week? And I did this from home, so that's probably where I have your thing. So here in my office, I'm making these things that I can just keep every week and not have to rewrite names down. So we want to be really careful about what we reinforce so that the dog doesn't learn that like coming is going to be a bad thing. So we did a lot of recall with treating and then going away, hand targeting. And then while the dog was eating the treat, I would like touch the collar, handle the collar, and then let the dog go play. So things like that. So I guess not as much as think about what you're reinforcing, but think about the message you're giving the dog. So especially with recall, it always has to be positive. We always want it to be fun and never negative when your dog comes to you. So yeah, we kind of had to take a step back, and this dog hates its harness. Like if it sees its harness, she bolts, like she goes. So we had to start all over with collar and harness desensitization and creating a good response and allowing the dog to come and take a treat while I had the harness on my hand and then backing away. stuff like that. So we always want to make sure that we are creating a positive association with training, with equipment, with, everything like that. So, okay, Nicole has a question. Sometimes in the morning, Wilma doesn't want to go into the bedroom for me to leave for work. I'm pretty sure she would come if I did her recall, but I try really hard not to use it to get her in the room. Yes, and so I did the same. I think I told you guys that I did that to Jade, and I knew better, and I just wasn't thinking, but I would call her and then put her in the crate. And after a week this was when I first got her, she's like, yeah, I'm not coming to you. You're going to put me in the crate as soon as you go to work. So she didn't want to come anymore. So actually what I did is I taught her to go into the crate on cue. So instead of having her come to me and then me putting her in the crate, I just taught her to go in the crate on her own. I would say, Jade, go to your crate. And then I would treat her for going in the crate and then shut the door. So that's kind of what I did as I turned it into a cue to where she would just go in, and I used treats to toss them in. So I kind of like started over with crate training and then put it on cue, because a lot of times she comes with me to work. So as soon as I close my computer, she's like right there, like, am I going? Am I going? And sometimes, I'll say, yep, come on, we're going. And then sometimes it's like, oh, sorry, Jade, you can't go today, in your crate. And then she'll like go in her crate. But I do reward her for going in her crate on cue. So yes, if you are going to put it on cue, and I would call it something different than come. So that's why I use like go to your crate. Because we don't ever want recall to be a negative thing. So you can say, like, Wilma, time to go to your room, and then toss a handful of treats, scatter feed. So let her go in and then be looking for a whole bunch of treats, or give her a favorite toy to go in after, so that going in the room is always positive. So does that make sense? And yeah, I would actually use a different cue rather than recall, and then make it fun. Like, put a lick mat in there that she can lick. Toss some treats to scatter feed. Let's see. I've been luring her in so that the recall doesn't get associated with it. I like the idea of the cue, though. Yeah. So luring is great. And as you're luring, so we don't ever want to use treats as bribery. So there is a difference between like luring and bribery. We don't ever want to bribe our dogs, because sometimes they'll be like, yeah, no, I don't want to treat, because I know what's going to happen. So we want to make it like super fun. So you could even take a handful of treats, like I mentioned, and just say, like, Wilma, let's go to your room, and toss the treats in and let her scatter, like let her hunt for all the treats and things like that. So that when you say go to your room, she's going to know, okay, I'm going to go to my room, but I get to play this really super fun game when I go in. So it's going to be rewarding and reinforcing. So that's what I would do. I would put that on cue, and for a while, like, lure her with the handful of treats and you're going to go hunt, or scatter feed or something like that. So, yep, that's a great idea. We do Kongs or dental sticks for them. She used to get crated, but I set up a special room so her and Moose could be together. Yeah, that's awesome. Kongs work great. Dental sticks. You can also take Kongs and put peanut butter in them and then freeze it, so when you leave them, they have something to lick, because that's self-soothing and it'll keep them busy for a while, so that they don't really concentrate on the fact that you're leaving them, but they get to like lay down and lick. So yeah, my one crate is really big. So actually Maddie and Jade go in together because they like to be together. And there have been times when all three of them have gone in because it's either cold, and Daphne's really good. She doesn't need to be crated. She can have like doggy door free roam. But sometimes she's in there and doesn't want to come out. So I'm like, okay, well, you guys can all three go in together. And they all fit. It's a pretty big crate. And luckily they all just kind of lay down and sleep. So yeah, that's a good one. Kongs and dental sticks. That's really good. Plus they're getting their teeth cleaned at the same time. So that's awesome. Okay, good questions. Oh, let's see. I blend Greek yogurt, pumpkin, and peanut butter. Oh, that's awesome. And put chicken in there. Yeah, and then do you freeze it? Because you can also freeze it so it takes longer for them to lick out. I like freezing just so that it lasts longer. I do that with my lick mats too. I'll put peanut butter on the lick mat, and then let them lick it, and it takes longer. I also use my lick mats a lot for puppy classes, just to when we do our enrichment week. And that way the peanut butter doesn't get all over anything when I put it in my bag because it's frozen. So we did some work today with a dog that's really reactive. So we were working on like door manners and like things to do when guests come over. And I used the Pupford lick mat. And out of all the things we set out a snuffle mat, a Kong wobbler. The dog loved the snuffle mat and the lick mat the best. Did like the Kong wobbler quite a bit, but then kept going back to the snuffle mat and the lick mat. So, yes. So good. You freeze it. Yeah, I have, I'm always there when I do the lick mat. So my dogs have never tried to eat it, but they certainly probably would, especially one of my dogs that likes to chew up everything. I think that he would probably chew that up if given the chance. So yeah, if any of you have dogs that are afraid of like a reactive at the door or more shy or afraid when guests come in, one of my colleagues came up with this brilliant thing where we set up, so like if somebody knocks at the door and you have a dog that's really reactive, we'll like use a cue like, like let's go to the room, and then we scatter feed in the room. Then they invite the guests in, the guests sit down, and then we set up like the snuffle mat, the lick mat, like all these things. So then they bring the dog out, and the dog has to go through this fun maze of stuff that then they don't really concentrate on the person. So then it's like, oh, there's a person here, but oh my gosh, I have a snuffle mat, and I have a lick mat, and I have a wobbler, and I have this and this and this. And so they're like really engaged in this. And then every once in a while, the dog will like look up and then back down and to play with everything. So we've done 3 sessions now. And this dog at first would bark at me the entire hour, like just bark like crazy. Super fearful dog. And today we were able to have the dog like quietly finally get all the way up to me and hand target without barking or growling. Like she's come up to me before, but as I would give her a treat, she would be growling at the same time because she was very conflicted. It's like, oh, I really want that treat, but I'm really scared of this person. So we backed up, and I was not worried about this dog biting me, but I did want the owner, like, don't let her rush up. Like, we're going to do it slow and only when she's calm. So it worked beautifully. I actually recorded it with her phone, and then she sent me the videos. But yeah, and it does take a few weeks for the dogs to learn like what we want them to do. But she did much better today than she has in former weeks. And like I said, was able to come all the way up to me without barking. And, I tossed treats, and then I asked her to hand target and then gave her the treat. So it was great. I keep telling my friend that she needs to market that or copyright it or something, because it was brilliant. I've done this with a ton of dogs now, and it works so well. So, anyway, okay, what other questions do you guys have? Let me go back and make sure I got everybody in here. Okay. Guys, it's only been 15 minutes. Got to come up with some questions. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Another thing that I've kind of started doing is, and I don't even really tell, hey, Karen, I do have a thing for Karen. There you are. Karen, I'm adding you in. I actually don't have Jade with me today to pick, so I'll just have to draw them out myself. I came right from work, and I knew that it was going to be really close, so I just came here, and then I'll go home. So that's why I don't have Jade with me today. Oh, you started training Leo. That's awesome. You know, you can clicker train any animal. I have not started clicker training my cat because she's new and she's kind of like really nervous. So she's kind of funny, but yes. Yeah, Karen, I'm sorry, you'll have to settle for me. But yes, you can totally train your cat to do things. My friend trains cats too. I don't, but I know you totally can. So I am going to get my cat used to a harness this spring and summer so I can take her outside. She was actually an outside cat before I got her, and I live on a highway, so I don't want to just let her outside because I don't want her to get hit by a car. But I know she loves to be outside, so I'm going to put her on a harness and a leash so that she can go outside, which will be interesting. Okay, Elizabeth, my dog won't stay when I try to go upstairs. I want to be able to invite him instead of him going without my permission. He was able to do it before, but now he won't listen. So you want him to stay at the bottom of the stairs and not come up until you invite him? Is that what I'm hearing? So I would use, instead of stay, I would use wait, because wait is like that anticipation that if I wait, then I'm going to get to go do something. Whereas stay to me is like stay put. And I use that for like longer things, like, you know, you're going to downstay while I eat dinner. So I would start with just putting your dog in a sit and say wait, and then maybe go up one step, come back, click and treat. And when I say click, that just means mark. So if you're using a verbal marker like yes, you can totally do that. If you're using a clicker, then you click treat. And then I would release. So throw a treat away and just, you know, say, okay, free. And then ask your dog to wait and then go up 2 steps. And then you can either go back to your dog, or actually what I would do is I would go up the 2 steps and then cue your dog to like come to you. So you can either say like, okay, come, or touch or something, and then have the dog come to you, get rewarded, and then go back down to the bottom and go like 1 step at a time. So you break it down until, let's say that you have a landing and you say wait, and then you can go up to the landing and then say, you know, okay, come on, or whatever you want your cue to be, to come or touch or, you know, whatever. And then let your dog come up to the landing, reward. And then you can actually have the landing be where you start, and then do the next set of stairs, like one at a time, where you wait, and then they get to come and get a treat, and then take them back so that they learn that they wait. But if they wait, then they get invited up. And that if they wait, if you start to do like 3 stairs and your dog doesn't wait and starts to follow you, then it's like, oh, sorry, let's try that again. And then take your dog back down to the bottom and do it again. So the dog learns that if I wait, then I get to come up. But if I don't wait, I have to go back down and start over. And then make sure that I would do kind of a double reward while you're learning. So one reward is that your dog gets to come up to you, and the second reward is your dog gets a treat. And then eventually the reward is that your dog will just get to come up the stairs and follow you up, or come up the stairs when invited. So, yeah, try that and let me know how that goes. I had one dog, a big Bernese Mountain Dog, that would like run up or down the stairs and almost knock the owner over. So we did that. We practiced wait, and then the owner like walked up to one landing and then called the dog, and then we did wait, and the owner went up to the next one and then called the dog and did the same thing coming down, so the dog wouldn't knock the person down. So she did a sit wait, and then she walked down one flight and told the dog to come, and then wait, and then went down the next flight, and it worked really, really well. So give that a try. And if you're like, let's say you're on step 3 or 4 and your dog breaks like 2 or 3 times in a row, then make it easier. So back it up and make it easier. So that, like go back to 2 steps and do that several times, and then add in that 3rd step and do that several times, and then add in that 3rd step. So if your dog is breaking a lot, then that means it's too hard. So you want to break it down and make it easier. So hopefully that makes sense, and give it a try and let me know how it goes. Okay, who else has a question? And then I started to talk about something and I forgot what it was. It was something else about a client that I saw this week. Oh, I know what it was. So when I work with really shy, fearful, or aggressive dogs, I don't tell the owners that I'm really doing this, but I have started to wear like essential oils that are calming. So like lavender, any calming blend, things like that kind of are made to have a calming effect. And so like I'll just put some like behind my ears or on my wrists or something, just so and most essential oils are really good for dogs as well. I mean, for animals. And so I know there are some that aren't, that you have to be careful of with cats, and a few with dogs, but most of the calming ones are pretty, and dogs have such a big sense of smell. So, yeah, a lot of times if I know I'm going to be working with a really fearful dog, like today, I had a dog that's super fearful. That's the one that we did the guest protocol. And so right before I went in, I just put on some lavender calming stuff. And I think it was a mixture of, like this was our 3rd week doing it. And hopefully, and I'm totally guessing, like, I don't know, but I did wear like stuff that's supposed to have a calming effect. So maybe both together, like it being week 3 and the dog was calm. And actually the owner said, man, this is not going to go good today because this dog is wound up. But she actually did better this week than she's ever done. So I'm hoping that it was like that we keep practicing every week, and it's really important to establish like patterns. So now this dog is learning, this is a pattern that we do when guests come over. And it's really fun because I get to play with all this stuff. And so like we're creating that pattern. And then, but it's just something kind of fun to experiment with. Like, yeah, Nicole, try it. And if Moose gets like really excited and wants to play with other dogs, yeah, you could totally try essential oils. The other thing that you could do is I've started to teach like a wait or a cue that says, okay, go say hi. So I have in my intermediate class, I have a dog that just wants to go up to every single dog. And again, if they allow the dog to do that, then it becomes reinforcing, and the dog learns I can just pull my owner to any person or dog I want and say hi. But I will ask for like a wait, like a sit and wait. And then once the dog gets closer, hey, Julie. Once the dog gets closer, here's your thing. Then I will release the dog and say, okay, go say hi. So that's like their cue. Again, it's the same kind of thing with the stairs where you ask them to wait. So they exercise that impulse control, and then you release them. Like you invite them up the stairs or you release them to go say hi. And yes, Karen, I do that too. I use lavender, and I have a spearmint spray that I put on my pillow. The only thing you have to be careful of with dogs is like sometimes I will put it a little bit on their collar. But since the essential oils that I use are very pure and potent, and so you don't want to put as much on a dog's collar as you would on a person. So like 1 drop. Otherwise, it's too strong for them because they have so many more like smell receptors than humans do. So yeah, just be careful to just do very little bit, like just 1 drop, because they can smell that. But yeah, lavender is great. And there's I use one called Peace and Calming, and there's another one that's called, oh, what's it called? Let's see. I know I have them in my bag, but I'm not sure where. My bag's kind of a mess right now. If I can find it, I'll show you. But yeah, just try it. I mean, it's not going to hurt. So just like experimenting and seeing if it calms your dog down or has any of that kind of effect. Like I experimented once with some CBD chews with Jade, because we have to do a 1 hour settle at a restaurant, which is so hard for her. And so I gave her, we had a meeting at a restaurant, me and another trainer and some veterans. And I thought, oh, Jade's never going to stay down. So I gave her 2 CBD chews before and a bully stick. And the next thing I knew, we'd been there 2.5 hours, and she stayed there the whole time. And I'm like, whoa. She ate the bully stick and then fell asleep. And so it's like, yeah, it could have been the CBD, because usually she'll eat the bully stick and then pop up. But she stayed there and laid down. So it's kind of fun to experiment with stuff and see what works. As long as it's not going to like hurt the dog. So Nicole, we don't always go say hi to dogs in class. He does good when he is working, and I can put him in a sit stay and he does good. But if we stop working for a second, he gets excited and wants to play. Yeah. So what I do in that case is I will like redirect. So if he gets excited and wants to play, then I'll redirect him back to me like, oh, hey, over here, let's focus over here, and then reward that. And in your class, I don't know if your trainer does like mat work, but having your dog go settle on a mat and waiting there and then rewarding that works as well. And in my puppy classes, we do a lot of name game and just like checking in, focusing on owner, and rewarding that so that we can like easily get the dogs, back. Speaking of calming stuff, I started using through a dog's ear. Oh, I love that. Somebody gave me one of the other people that adopted one of the Victory dogs sent me that CD because my dog was terrified of like thunderstorms and fireworks. And she sent me that CD. And this was probably 10 years ago, and I still have it. It's in my bathroom, and I even play it like when I'm taking a shower and stuff, because I love it. It's so good. And yes, it's very, very calming. I was reading the back, and they actually have I don't know if I think it's a PhD and then somebody that has a degree in like music and how music like affects mood and can calm, and they came up with this together. So it's really good. It works as well. They actually did a study of the different kinds of music that dogs like, and the piano music like through a dog's ear is really good. Um, like simple classical music is good, but if you get like the big symphonies where there's like a lot going on, that makes dogs more stressed out because there's just like so much going on. But like easy, simple, um, like classical stuff is good. Like, like maybe one violin and a piano or something like that. And the one that surprised me, dogs don't like jazz because that's too much. There's too much going on. But they like reggae. And I'm not sure what it is about reggae, but it's very soothing for them and they love it. So yeah, they did this experiment and this study on the different kinds of music, and that's what they came up with. So when you're playing classical music and you think, oh, this is classical, this is going to be great for my dog, it depends. If it's like a whole orchestra and there's a lot going on, chances are your dog's not going to like it. But just like think of simple, like the more simple, the better. Okay. Oh, let's see. We do some mat work, and he was getting better towards the last class. He starts his trick class on Monday. Oh, awesome. You'll have to let me know how that goes. I've been wanting to do a trick class with Jade, and I used to teach tricks. I used to teach what's called tricks and sniffs. So we did nose work and some tricks, but I just haven't done it. I haven't taught my dogs a ton of tricks, so I don't know a lot to be able to teach a really long class, but we just did some basic. This was during COVID, or I mean, we still have COVID, but this was when everybody was quarantined, and I wanted to give people something to do from home with their animals. So we did a tricks and sniffs class just to show people like what they could do at home with their dog to keep them entertained, keep their mind going. So doing nose work and then teaching tricks. Oh yeah, you did that AKC tricks class, and novice title. That's awesome. So Nicole, what kind of tricks did they teach in that? I'm just curious. I have a ton of like dog training trick books, and I just haven't had time to go through them. So I need to go through them and get Jade doing some just to keep her entertained. My dog Daphne she's the sweetest thing in the world, but she's like not the brightest. And so it's really hard to get her to like do tricks. I was lucky just to get her to do like sit down and stay. But it takes her longer. It took her 2 months to learn it down. And I actually had to lure her under my leg so that she would have to like get down to go under. And then when she would get down, I'd mark and treat. So kind of a bridge technique. Sorry, I'm chewing gum, but I haven't eaten today, so this is like giving me sugar. So yeah, she's not the brightest as far as like learning things, but it's okay. She's my one dog that I don't ever have to worry about. She doesn't chew. She doesn't potty in the house. She never gets in trouble. So, oh, cool. Bow. Yeah, I taught one of my dogs that a while ago. That dog's not alive anymore. Paws up. Pivot. I have never done pivot. I have done spins, and I've done crawl. And different touches. That's good too, because that's you can use that, for other things. Like with service dogs, we'll always teach touch first, like, touch the light switch, and then we teach them just to touch it, and then we teach them to flip it on and off. So, yeah, doing different kinds of touches is awesome. Um, oh, let's see, I missed one. Yes, they took some of the notes out of classical and gave it more of a pattern to calm. There are different ones out now, and Victoria Stillwell helped on some of them. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that she helped with some. They must have some new ones out, because I think I have the third one. I want to say that I have the third one, and it's pretty much just basic piano stuff. Oh, puppy push-ups. I do that in puppy class. I do puppy push-ups, and I do contests. So I have a contest at like either the last week or the second to last week, so that they can all practice. And then we have a contest, and the dog that can do the most push-ups in 1 minute wins a lick mat. And I give them a Pupford lick mat, like the little small bone-shaped one. So yes, we do contests in my class. Just because if people think, oh, there's a contest and there's prizes, then they'll practice. Oh, they have 9? Holy cow. Yeah, they have more than they did before. I'll have to look it up. I was going to say, I don't even know if I think my CD player is not working, so I've been doing everything like Bluetooth, but I'm sure you can get them like on Apple Music or Amazon and stuff like that. But yeah, they have a lot. Those are good. Elizabeth, how can I sign up for your class? Well, you have to live in Utah. Because I don't do virtual classes, but hey, you can come to my class anytime you want. And Elizabeth, remind me where you live, because I still haven't added your thing. Yeah, we have fun in class. I also do this thing where we do like musical mats. So once we learn mat work, it's just like musical chairs. And then when the music stops, everybody has to find a mat. Oh, you do live in Utah. That's right. You and Kathy. Aren't you up north? Like, aren't you up in Ogden area? Or Miriam that Miriam Phoenix lives up in Ogden area. So what part of Utah? Oh, you're in Orem. Awesome. It's like an hour drive, but you are more than welcome to come to my class. You can just email me. I'll put my email. Oops. I'll put my email in here, and you can just email me. And my 2 classes just graduated, so I'm taking names for my next puppy class, which is under a year, and then my next intermediate class. And then I'm also going to be doing a canine or a AKC, Canine Good Citizen, in the future sometime. So, yeah, just Tracy at Pupford.com, and then that will automatically forward it to my other dog training one. So, oh, exciting. I'd love to have you come in class. Let's see. Oh, I just put it down. Tracy at Pupford.com. So, yeah, so Elizabeth, Kathy Price Collins that comes a lot to this. She actually lives in West or South Jordan. And I have done some in-home training at her place. Usually just when I'm down there anyway to like visit my mom, because I don't go down to the city very often. Same with like Orem, because I'm in Camas. So most of my clients are Park City, Heber. But where I teach my classes is just kind of between Park City and Camas. So for you, it's like an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. But yeah, I'd love to have you come to my class. That would be super fun. And then, yeah, Lexi, I just put it down. And then that forwards all my emails, just so I don't have to remember to check I have like 3 or 4 different email addresses. So I just like to have it all forwarded to one so I don't forget or lose stuff. Okay. Any other questions, everybody? If not, we can do a drawing. I'm used to like being on here for so long. But since my dogs are home and haven't been fed or let out yet, I'm sure they would love it if I came home early. Oh, so you got it screenshot this time. I also have this one, this one's longer, but Tracy at Pupford.com is easy. This is my training. This is my other work one. If you want to, you can use either. I get them both. They all go to the same one. Yeah, Elizabeth, what's your other question? I'm not sick. I don't have COVID, but I've been coughing a lot lately. So I've been like drinking a ton of water. Oh, you'll email me since my next question is long. Okay. Yeah, you can email me. But you're welcome to put it here if you want. I have time. So, and if it's a question that you think will help everybody else, go ahead and ask it. Julie, how do I introduce my mom's dogs to mine because they are moving back to New York? Yeah. So first, do a parallel walk. So introduce them on neutral ground. So meet somewhere that your dogs, they don't consider it their territory. So meet like at Central Park. That's the only thing that I know of in New York, but it could be any park. So meet somewhere neutral and go on a parallel walk together so that the dogs can air sniff. They're getting a lot of information like, this dog's a female, this dog's a male, this dog's been fixed, this one hasn't. I know these dogs, I've never met these dogs. So they're getting all that information when they're walking and sniffing. And then if they're calm, like you can do some quick butt sniffs, like bring one up from behind and just say, like, go check it out. If the dog doesn't want to go check it out and doesn't want to sniff the other dog, then don't make him. If he's like, oh, no, I'd rather not, then that's totally fine. But if one does want to go up and like sniff, just do a 2-second sniff and then take him away and praise him. So I usually just like do 1,000, 2, 1,000. Oh, good job, good job, good job. And then take him away and treat him. And then let him switch. So then the dog that got sniffed gets to sniff the other dog. And watch body language the whole time that's happening so that, if the dogs are like really loose and play bow and giving like all kinds of signals like, oh, let's be friends, I want to play, then you can kind of like let them interact. The other thing that I do is when dogs meet and they're sniffing, this is a bad example because I have a big one and a little one. But when they start to sniff, you're going to have the leashes and dogs usually pivot and turn. So you always want to make sure that you stay on the outside. So as the dogs pivot and turn, you're going to pivot and turn with them so that your leashes don't get tangled. So the leash always stays on the outside. So you turn with the dog. I had a client's dog meeting another dog, and I was trying to tell the person, they were sniffing, and I was trying to tell the person, okay, like move with your leash on the outside, and she didn't. And the dogs got really stiff, and then they started like growling at each other, so we had to separate them. So it's really important, like, not to tighten up on the leash and make it tense, but let the leashes be loose, but then move with the dog. So if there is any growling, you can just pull the dog straight away. Like, just move them away from each other. Um, and if for some reason the leashes do get tangled, it's better to just drop the leash so that they don't get tangled and tight, because sometimes that can start a dog fight. So just drop the leash, and then you can untangle and then pick your leash back up. So yeah, I would do that. And then once they meet on neutral territory, if everything goes well, then you can take them back to your place. Let all of them go in the house at the same time. Let them sniff a little bit there. You can have a couple like drop a leash just in case. But yeah, that's kind of what I do, is just go for a walk first and then kind of take it from there, and let them sniff. And when I bring if I bring a dog over to my house, I make sure that the food bowls are up. I don't free feed, but I leave the bowls down sometimes. But toys, chew items, anything that the dogs could potentially fight over, I pick that up. Hey, Willow. Willow, I have your thing. For some reason, I didn't write your whole name out. I wrote Will. Okay, we'll add you just in the drawing. So yes, I pick up anything that could potentially be a resource to a dog. So I make sure there's nothing left down that the dogs are going to fight over. So I get all that, and then I bring the dogs in. And since I have 4 dogs, if I have one dog coming over for, say, like a board and train, I'll bring in one dog at a time. So I'll bring one in, let him meet, and then I'll bring a second dog in, let him meet. Hey, Anthony from California. I think I need to make a name thing for you. So because I don't want like all 4 of my dogs to like rush a dog and like scare it. Even though all my dogs are really nice, I don't want to like scare a puppy or like a new dog coming in. So I introduce one at a time, and then I let them kind of all interact. And then I might go out in the backyard with them and let them all run and have plenty of room to, sniff each other and play and interact. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it. Willow, I'm glad you stopped by to say hi. And Anthony. Okay, you guys, do the ones that just joined us, do you have any questions? I was just about ready to do a drawing because we haven't had a ton of questions tonight. Good questions, though. Really good questions. I'm still trying to decide what the perfect time is to do these lives. It's like we've tried 4, we've tried 7, we've tried 6, we've tried 5. I think we're still going to rotate it just so that everybody in different time zones all has a chance to stop by. There was one that we did. I can't remember what time it was, but we actually had a lot of new people jump on, which I like having new regulars that come every week, but it's good to have new people too, just because then they'll have new questions. Okay, well, let's do a drawing. Willow, let's see. I put in application for my local animal shelter, waiting for the 3rd Tuesday of this month to go to orientation. Awesome. That's awesome. Good. Good luck. That's a great way to get started. Learning about dog training and dog behavior, and just get some hands-on training. That's how I started, was volunteering at a shelter. So that's good. Good job. Okay. I'm going to mix all these up. And draw one. And today's winner is Julie Kaplan from New York. So congratulations, Julie. So Julie, you know the drill. You're going to email hello@pupford.com and let them know what kind of treats you want. And I'll email them as well and let them know that you're the winner. And then they will send you a bag of treats out. So, wow, Brian, that's 2 weeks in a row that you haven't won. Brian was on a streak. He and Renee won like 3 weeks in a row. So, yeah, good job. Congratulations. Oh, yes, Julie, you'll have treats for your mom's dogs. That's good. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, everybody, and have a great week. And I'll see you next week. I don't have my calendar with me. I can't remember what time we decided to do next week. But I'll post it. Like I always post it a day or two in advance so everybody knows. So have a great week and weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Or I'll see you on the Facebook page because I try to get on and answer questions. So we will see you guys later.